Welcome to the Adept, a place where breath, silence, and spirit meet. In a world overflowing with noise, distraction, and endless seeking, the greatest secret is not hidden in books, temples, or distant stars. It's hidden within you. The universe made the path simple. It's man that made it complicated. And the moment you return to simplicity, the door to the kingdom within opens. Today we journey into the power of simplicity. How silence itself becomes the key to the universe. How letting go of the ego's noise reveals divine order. And how keeping life simple awakens a peace that reorganizes your world. Breathe deeply, be still, and allow simplicity to guide you home. This is the Adept. Simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. The three keys to a spiritual life. Tom Shadyac. These words capture a profound truth. At its core, authentic spirituality is simple. Yet many of us find the spiritual journey confusing or complicated. Why is that? As the ancient sage Confucius observed, life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. In this video, we'll explore how simplicity is central to spiritual growth and inner peace. We'll see that the universe, or the divine, actually made it easy for us to find truth. It's humans who make it hard to find the kingdom within. By returning to simplicity, through silence, humility, and letting go of excess, we can reconnect with the universe within ourselves. Join us as we discuss how going within in silent simplicity can transform your life. We'll include inspiring spiritual sayings from various traditions to illuminate the power of simplicity. Let's dive in. We complicate what is simple. Human beings have a knack for overcomplicating things, and spirituality is no exception. The truth is, finding inner peace and divine connection does not require elaborate rituals or endless analysis. The universe makes it simple to find it. It's man that made it hard to find the kingdom within. In other words, the path to the divine is inherently simple, but our ego and society add layers of complexity. We chase after philosophies, material symbols, or credentials, thinking they will bring us closer to God or enlightenment, when in fact, what we seek is already available within us, right here and now. This tendency to complicate comes from the mind and ego. We pile on beliefs, fears, and distractions that obscure a simple reality. Often we get caught up in material pursuits, striving for a comfortable lifestyle, accumulating possessions and achievements, hoping these will fulfill us. As one spiritual author noted, in this chase after material growth, we literally overshadow our spiritual growth and happiness. By focusing too much on external gains, we lose sight of our inner needs. We may also entangle ourselves in dogma or endless information, thinking the more complex our spiritual practice, the more advanced we are. But true spirituality doesn't work that way. Consider the many spiritual masters who lived in simplicity. Monks in humble robes, sages in nature, emphasizing a simple life of virtue, meditation, and service. They stripped away distractions to focus on what truly matters. The mystics teach detachment for this very reason. By taking our focus off of getting stuff, we have more of ourselves available to focus on learning to love rightly, or learning how to depend on the divine. In letting go of excess, we free up energy to devote to our inner journey. Ultimately, the core truths of spirituality are simple: love, compassion, oneness, presence. The practices to realize these truths, such as sitting in silence, observing the breath, being kind, are also simple. It is our mind that wants to complicate things, either because it craves control or because it can't believe something so profound could be so straightforward. But as the saying goes, the greatest truths are the simplest. In fact, simplicity often requires clarity and courage to remove the unnecessary. It's telling that the Bible reminds us, God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, meaning the divine truth comes with a sense of clear simplicity, not complexity. So the first step is to recognize that we ourselves may be making our spiritual path harder than it needs to be. We can choose to step away from needless complications. As one writer explained, many complexities are human-made illusions that we can learn to release. A lot of these complexities are made up by our own misconceptions of life. That's why we first must learn to let go of our own unnecessary complications. In practicing simplicity, we seek to unlearn and unclutter, dropping the baggage of excess thoughts, beliefs, or possessions that weigh us down spiritually. The kingdom within, finding the universe inside you. If the ultimate spiritual truth is simple, what is it? Countless sages point to one answer. It is within you. Jesus taught, "The kingdom of God is within you." Rather than looking for enlightenment or heaven in some distant place, we are invited to turn inward. The kingdom within means that the divine spark, the universe, or whatever you call the highest truth, already resides in your own heart and consciousness. To find the universe, you must simply go within. This idea appears across spiritual traditions. The Hindu Upanishads say that the Atman, the self within, is one with Brahman, the universal spirit. Sufi mystics like Rumi constantly pointed seekers back to their own souls. One beautiful quote from the Taoist sage Lao Tzu puts it plainly, "Within, within." This is where the world's treasure has always been. The treasure we seek, peace, truth, God, is hidden in plain sight inside us. If the treasure is inside, the search becomes much simpler. We don't need to trek to far-off lands or acquire special status. We only need to look within ourselves with honesty and openness. Of course, simple doesn't always mean easy. Our minds can resist going within because it means facing ourselves. But conceptually, the path is straightforward. Stop searching outside and start observing inside. Lao Tzu also warned against looking externally for fulfillment. One who seeks his treasure in the outer world is cut off from his own roots. Without roots, he becomes restless. His mind is weak. How many of us have felt that restless, rootless feeling when chasing something external? We might achieve some worldly goal, yet still feel empty because we were looking in the wrong place. The moment we direct our attention inward through meditation, reflection, or prayer, we begin to tap into our source. Practically, finding the universe within can be as simple as sitting quietly and listening to your inner self. It doesn't require elaborate ceremony. Wherever you are, you can close your eyes, breathe, and become aware of the inner space where thoughts arise. In that space, if you're patient, you can sense a presence beyond the busy mind, a presence of stillness and love. Different faiths have different names for it: soul, spirit, the light of God, the higher self. But all agree it's there. As the Bible beautifully advises, "Be still and know that I am God." In stillness, we come to know the divine directly. Even a few minutes a day of such inward stillness can start revealing that inner kingdom. You might notice moments of peace, insights, or a feeling of being connected to something greater. The wonderful irony is that what we may have spent years seeking through books or others' teachings, we find quietly sitting in our own company. The universe has made itself available to each of us within. It is we who must choose the simple act of turning inward to commune with it. Silence, the key to the universe. How exactly do we go within? One essential door is silence. In the silence of the mind and heart, we discover the voice of the universe. Over time, the silence itself becomes the teacher, showing us truth. It has been said in many ways that silence is the language of the divine. The 13th century mystic Rumi put it succinctly. The quieter you become, the more you are able to hear. When we quiet the endless chatter of the mind, we hear the whispers of the soul. It may feel strange that doing nothing, just being silent, can be the key to everything. But consider how much noise dominates our lives. Noise from outside and from our own thoughts. This noise forms a barrier that keeps us from perceiving deeper realities. When we enter silence, that barrier thins. We begin to perceive the subtle truths that were always present. When there is silence, one finds peace. When there is silence, one finds the anchor of the universe within himself, taught Lao Tzu. In stillness, you can sense that anchor, a stable, eternal presence, the universe, within your very being. Silence is powerful because it dissolves the ego. The ego, our full sense of separate self, is sustained by mental noise, our self-centered thoughts, worries, labels, and stories. In silence, the ego has nothing to cling to and begins to fade. What remains is simply being. You realize you are not just the restless voice in your head. You are the awareness behind it, an awareness connected to all. In deep silence, there is no ego. And that is when one experiences the oneness with the universe. As one spiritual teacher noted, silence is God's first language. Everything else is a poor translation. In the quiet, we directly feel truth rather than translating it into mental concepts. Many spiritual traditions therefore make silence a core practice. Whether it's Zen meditation, Christian contemplative prayer, Sufi dhikr in quiet, or indigenous vision quests in nature, stillness and solitude are sacred tools. There are 4 natural sanctuaries: silence, solitude, stillness, and simplicity, writes Brianna Wiest, highlighting how these elements work together. When we embrace solitude and stillness, we naturally become silent, and our life simplifies. In that simplicity, the sanctuary of the divine within becomes clear. It's important to note that silence here doesn't just mean outer quiet, though finding a calm environment helps. It means inner silence, a quieting of the constant stream of thoughts. Even if you live in a noisy city, you can cultivate an inner silence by focusing your attention, for example, on your breath or a mantra, and gently letting go of intrusive thoughts. Over time, you discover an inner silence that you can carry with you anywhere, like a peaceful core beneath life's turbulence. In practical terms, try setting aside time each day to sit in silence. Start with just 5 or 10 minutes if you're new to it. Turn off devices, sit comfortably, close your eyes, and just breathe. When thoughts arise, and they will, don't fight them, but let them pass like clouds. Each time, return to the quiet present moment. This simple practice, done consistently, will teach you more about yourself and the universe than any book. Indeed, the more you enter the silence, the more it will teach you that silence is the key to the universe within. You'll start to notice that after your silent sitting, the world looks a little clearer, your mind calmer, and your heart more open. Lao Tzu observed, "Stillness benefits more than action. Silence benefits more than words." This isn't to say action or words have no value, but it emphasizes how undervalued stillness and silence are in our busy lives. Yet in silence, problems solve themselves or dissolve, because we tap into a higher wisdom. By practicing silence, we begin to live from the inside out, guided by the inner universe, rather than being tossed about by external chaos. Beyond the ego, embracing humility and presence. An important aspect of simplicity is humility, the opposite of ego's complexity. The ego wants to feel important, to accumulate knowledge or spiritual achievements. It tends to think more is better. But true spirituality invites us to become small in a beautiful way, to be humble, present, and uncomplicated, like a child or a clear mirror. When we drop the ego's pretensions, we naturally become simple. In many traditions, the enlightened ones are described as simple and innocent. They live in the present moment, free of the burden of past and future, free of the need to judge or control everything. They have what Zen calls beginner's mind, a mind open and uncomplicated. This simplicity is not ignorance, it is clarity. As the sculptor Auguste Rodin said, "The more simple we are, the more complete we become." By simplifying our sense of self, we paradoxically become more whole, because we drop the fragmented identity that ego created. Ego and complexity often manifest as constant mental noise, planning, analyzing, worrying, comparing. Have you ever tried to sit quietly and suddenly your mind is doing 100 things? That's ego's resistance to simplicity. It's almost as if the ego fears simplicity, because in a simple, silent state, the ego is not in charge. Something deeper is. Realizing this, we see why regular practice of silence is so transformative. It gradually loosens the ego's grip. A spiritual author from the Sufi tradition, Hazrat-e Inayat Khan, once wrote, "I asked for strength, and God gave me difficulties to make me strong. I asked for wisdom, and God gave me problems to solve. I asked for courage, and God gave me dangers to overcome. I asked for love, and God gave me troubled people to help. I asked for favors, and God gave me opportunities. I received nothing I wanted. I received everything I needed." This reminds us that the ego's complicated wants often mask our simple needs. The universe responds to our needs, growth, compassion, wisdom, in simple, sometimes unexpected ways, often through life experiences that humble us and bring us back to the present. By embracing humility, we accept life's lessons simply, without the ego's drama. We start to trust the flow of life. Simplicity in spirituality means trusting that by aligning sincerely with truth, no matter how plain or unglamorous it seems, everything we truly need will come. It is the ego that second guesses and seeks elaborate schemes. The humble heart simply shows up, breathes, and does the next right thing. In Christian teachings, Jesus often uplifted the simplicity of children. Unless you become like little children, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. Children are naturally present and free of guile. They exemplify simple faith. Likewise, the Tao Te Ching advises us to manifest plainness, embrace simplicity, reduce selfishness, have few desires. Reducing selfish desires, ego's cravings, And embracing plainness, not needing to show off or complicate, creates the fertile ground for spiritual realization. Egoless simplicity puts us in touch with reality as it is, which is far more wondrous than the ego's fantasies. Building a relationship with inner silence. Simplicity and silence should not be one-time experiences, but an ongoing relationship. Think of your inner self, that still small voice or that peaceful core, as a dear friend or beloved. To know this friend well, you must spend regular quality time together. If you only meditate or pray once in a blue moon, it's like meeting an acquaintance briefly. The bond may remain shallow, but if you make it a habit, a daily rendezvous with silence, you cultivate a deep relationship with your inner spirit and with the divine. Over time, this regular practice of going within becomes the foundation of your life. You might start or end each day with 15 to 30 minutes of quiet contemplation. Some people take short silence breaks during the day, simply pausing to breathe and center themselves. These moments of simplicity reset your perspective. Gradually, you'll notice that the peace of your practice spills into the rest of your life. Situations that used to agitate you, you now handle with more calm. You become responsive rather than reactive. This is the transformational power of maintaining a relationship with silence. One could say your relationship with the silence is actually your relationship with the universe, or with God. Just as in any relationship, consistency and sincerity are key. The silence is always there, an open invitation, but you must show up to hear its guidance. Make it a sacred ritual, one that you look forward to rather than see as a chore. In the beginning, sitting in silence might feel challenging or even boring as your mind resists. But with patience, it turns into a profound delight. Many seekers report that over months and years, their meditation or prayer time becomes the most nourishing part of their day, a time they wouldn't trade for anything. What changes when you keep this practice? Externally, your life might still have its ups and downs, but your experience of life changes. You have an anchor within that keeps you steady. As one blogger noted from experience, living simply and being still, you can watch great things happen to you. By doing nothing but being present, you allow space for grace to enter. Creative insights emerge in silence. Intuition strengthens. Even your empathy grows, because by being present with yourself, you become more present with others. It's also helpful to simplify your lifestyle to support your inner practice. This might mean decluttering your environment, cutting down on excess screen time or commitments, and creating a quiet corner or time of day for reflection. Simplifying outer life and practicing inner silence go hand in hand, each reinforcing the other. As you simplify, you might find you have more time and energy for your spiritual relationship. You realize you never needed a constant flood of entertainment or busy work. A cup of tea in silence can be more fulfilling than scrolling through 100 posts. Life's simple joys start to speak to you. The sunrise, a heartfelt conversation, a walk in nature. These become deeply meaningful when your mind isn't buzzing with complexity. Simplicity is the key for long-term spirituality. A life overly cluttered with possessions, tasks, or mental baggage is not a fertile ground for sustained spiritual growth. Eventually, the weight of complexity can cause burnout or disillusionment. In contrast, a simple life aligned with your values provides the spaciousness needed for your spirit to thrive. As one spiritual counselor put it, if you want to grow spiritually, Simplicity is key. If you are simple, spirituality just comes to you. The more you simplify, the more naturally spiritual insight arises, because you're clearing the obstacles that once obscured it. In summary, make simplicity and silence your daily companions. Treat those quiet moments as sacred appointments. Over time, you'll notice a gentle revolution in your way of being. This is not an overnight miracle or flashy enlightenment experience. It is a gradual, organic unfolding of your true self. Day by day, the relationship with the silence changes you from within. Simplicity as a way of life, keys to keep it simple. Let's pause and summarize some practical ways to embrace simplicity in daily life and spirituality. Prioritize what matters. Simplify your schedule and possessions so that you have time for prayer, meditation, or reflection. As the saying goes, things that matter most must never be at the mercy of things that matter least. Focus on your health, loved ones, and inner growth. Let go of trivial distractions. Practice daily silence. Make time each day to enter the sanctuary of silence. Even 10 minutes of mindful breathing or silent prayer can center you. Consider doing this in the morning to set a peaceful tone for the day, or in the evening to unwind. Consistency is more important than duration. One thing at a time, do tasks with full presence. Multitasking and rushing add layers of stress and complexity. Instead, try doing one thing slowly and with attention. Whether it's eating, walking, or working, single tasking turns ordinary activities into simple meditations. Declutter your mind. Just as you might declutter your home, declutter your mind by journaling or talking out your worries, then setting them aside. And by consuming less mental junk, limit media overload. Embrace moments of boredom or doing nothing. These are actually restful and creative spaces. Cultivate gratitude for simple joys. Train yourself to appreciate the small, simple blessings. A cup of coffee, a smile, sunlight through the window. Gratitude keeps you grounded in the present and reduces the craving for more. When you're content with little, life feels more than enough. Recall the wisdom. He who is contented is rich. Serve and love simply. Acts of kindness need not be grand. In fact, simple gestures, listening to a friend, helping a neighbor, often carry profound spiritual value. By simplifying love to its essence, caring presence, you align with the divine more than through any complex dogma. These practices help weave simplicity into the fabric of your life. Remember, simplifying your life can truly enrich your soul. If spiritual growth is what you seek, there isn't a better, more satisfying way to live. Keeping it simple is not a loss, but a gain. It creates space for grace, depth, and genuine connection. Transformation through keeping it simple. When you live in simplicity and stay rooted in your inner silence, something remarkable happens. Your life begins to reorganize around your spiritual center. In other words, when you align with the universe within, the universe around you responds. You might notice synchronicities, helpful coincidences occurring more often. You may find that toxic relationships or habits naturally fall away, and new supportive people or opportunities come in. This is what the user's insight means by, the universe will reorganize your life right before your eyes, as long as you keep it simple. Stay true to simplicity and watch as order and harmony unfold in areas that used to be chaotic. There's a famous saying by author Paulo Coelho: And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. When your want comes from your true inner self and not ego's whims, the whole universe indeed seems to help. By simplifying, you clarify what it is you truly want, perhaps peace, truth, love, and you stop sending mixed signals. Your life becomes like a calm lake, able to reflect the light of divine guidance. In that clarity, doors open. It might feel almost magical at times. You think of an old friend and they suddenly call, or you need insight and an appropriate book falls into your hands. Was it coincidence or the universe conspiring? Hard to say. But these synchronicities tend to multiply when we are living in alignment, free of unnecessary clutter. Moreover, you yourself are changing through simplicity. Your perception shifts. What used to look like problems may now appear as lessons, or even blessings in disguise. Your simplified mind is less reactive and more intuitive. Thus, even before the external reorganizing happens, you internally reorganize how you see the world. This is true transformation, seeing with new eyes. As the spiritual text, A Course in Miracles says, "Seek not to change the world, but choose to change your mind about the world." By going within and simplifying, you have changed your mind. You've aligned it with your soul. As your life reorients around your spiritual core, you'll likely experience greater balance. Work, relationships, and personal goals start aligning with your values. You may be inspired to downsize or make lifestyle changes that reflect your inner growth. For example, pursuing a more meaningful career, or spending more time in nature and less in shopping malls. These changes aren't forced. They flow naturally from your new perspective. Manifest plainness, embrace simplicity. Have few desires, Lao Tzu urged, because then one's life becomes content and free. Indeed, many find that when they simplify and follow their inner guidance, they have exactly what they need, when they need it. Life feels supported. It's important to emphasize that simplicity is a practice, not a one-time fix. There may be periods where life gets hectic or the ego creeps back with new complications. That's okay. Simply notice and gently return to the basics. Return to silence. Return to the present. Let go of what you can. Every time you do, you strengthen your alignment. Over the long run, this steadfast dedication to simplicity yields a rich spiritual life. It's like tending a garden. Keep it free of weeds and well-watered, with attention and love, and it will bear beautiful fruits. Countless spiritual seekers have proven that a simple, inward-focused life leads to profound joy. Peace Pilgrim, a woman who walked across America for peace with virtually no possessions, said, "There is great freedom in simplicity of living. Those who have enough but not too much are the happiest." Her life was literally reorganized by faith and simplicity. She was taken care of by the kindness of strangers, and her needs were always met. While we need not go to that extreme, we can take inspiration from such examples that trusting simplicity invites providence. When you stop overreaching and overcomplicating, you make room for grace to enter. In your own journey, expect gradual, subtle changes rather than lightning bolts. You might notice after months of simplifying that you feel lighter, more confident in your path, and less anxious about the future. Decisions become easier because your values are clearer. Relationships may deepen as you become a better listener, thanks to that inner quiet, and more compassionate. Your outer environment may simplify too. Perhaps you decluttered your home or streamlined your routine. and now it feels more like a sanctuary than a storeroom. All of this is the universe reorganizing your life in response to your inner shifts. Ultimately, living simply and going within leads to a profound discovery. The kingdom of heaven, the universe itself, truly is within you. You carry it wherever you go. As you keep returning to that inner sanctuary, you realize you're never alone and never truly without guidance. The confidence and serenity that come from this realization radiate outward, blessing not just you, but those around you. Simplicity is contagious in the best way. Your calm inspires calm in others. Your contentment sparks curiosity in others about how they, too, might find such peace. Conclusion and outro. In conclusion, simplicity is the secret source of spirituality. When we strip away the non-essentials, we find that what remains is sacred. The silence within us is the doorway to the entire universe. By keeping our spiritual practice and life in general simple, focusing on inner stillness, basic goodness, and present awareness, we align ourselves with the divine flow that has always been there, waiting for us. Remember the wisdom. If you want to be closer to the divine, if you want to grow spiritually, simplicity is key. Spirituality just comes to you. The universe isn't hiding. It's right here in the simple, silent presence of now. So ask yourself, what can I simplify today? Maybe it's an aspect of your schedule. Maybe it's your approach to meditation, letting go of expectations. Or maybe it's just decluttering one drawer as a symbolic act. Every step towards simplicity is a step towards clarity. As you simplify outwardly and inwardly, notice the peace that arises. That peace is the kingdom within, making itself known. Let's close with a final thought from Lao Tzu that beautifully encapsulates our journey. When action is pure and selfless, everything settles into its own perfect place. When you live simply and sincerely, life finds its harmonious order. Or as another proverb goes, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. In embracing simplicity, we sync up with the natural, divine order of things. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of simplicity in spirituality. I hope these insights and sayings inspire you to keep it simple and go within regularly. May you find that sweet inner silence and build a loving relationship with it. Over time, you'll see the universe respond in kind, gently rearranging your life in the most beautiful ways. Outro. Thank you for watching or listening to this video. If you found value in this message, please consider sharing it with others who might benefit. Also like and subscribe. Remember, simplicity is the key. So keep your spiritual journey simple, consistent, and heartfelt. Be still, go within, and know that the universe is within you. Until next time, stay blessed and keep it simple.